Very good morning to my dear students and welcome to our social science class. So we started with a new topic or new chapter, we can say, that is in the trail of the earliest people, and we learned about the hunters and gatherers, how they used to collect food for their survival and what are the difficulties they had to face. We also learned about why they moved from one place to another, what is the reason of moving from one place to another. Then we came to know about how they choose their places to live in. There we came to know about the factory site, and we came to know about habitation come factory site, where they used to work as well as they used to live. And we came to know about a famous factory site or habitation come factory site, that is Bhimbetka, right? And today we are going to start with the new topic, that is making of stone tools. Along with that, we'll come to know about the fire, the discovery or finding out about fire, and about the changing environment. So students, let's begin our class today, and I hope all of you are doing well. So please take care of yourself, and do take care and do study, and write your answers and assignment properly. So thank you, have a nice day, and God bless you, and let's go for the video. So dear students, let's begin our class. So before the beginning of the class, let's revise whatever we did yesterday or in our previous class. That is, we studied about the places, or choosing a place to live in, that is where people used to live, the hunters and gatherers. We came to know about two concepts, that is habitation come factory side, then only habitation and factories, right? People used to live where stones tool were found and where stones were easily available, good quality stones, because places where stones was found and where people made tools are known as factory sites, right? And people where they used to live in the area where also they work, that area was known as habitation come factory site. So today we are going to learn with the new topic, that is making stone tools, right? So before that, here is the meaning of the sites. Let us know what are sites, right? So sites are places where the remains of things like tools, pots, buildings were found. These were made, used, and left behind by the people. These may be found on the surface of the earth, buried under the earth, or sometimes even underwater. So sites are the areas or the places where old remainings have been found, and these sites may be found on the surface of the earth, right, under the underground of the earth, or sometimes even under water, right? So let us know what are how stone tools are being made. So there are two techniques probably which are being used. That is, the first is called stone on stone. Here the pebble from which the tool was to be made, also called the core, was held in one hand. See, this is how the first technique was being used, right? Another stone which was used as the hammer was held in another hand. For example, this was the stone from where the tool will be made, and this is the hammer stone, right? So the second stone was used to strike off flakes. So with this stone they used to strike it, right? From the first till the required shape was obtained. So they used to strike with the sides. For example, this is the second stone and this is the first stone, right? So to make a particular tool or weapon, they used to strike the first stone with the second one until and unless the proper shape has been made, right? So next we have pressure flaking. Here the core was placed on the firm space. For example, this is a firm space and this is the core, okay, core stone. The hammer stone was used on a piece of bone or stone that was placed on the core to remove flakes that would be shaped into tools. So how the second technique was being carried out, it is known as pressure flaking. So the hammer stone, for example, this is a hammer stone, was used on a piece of bone, right? It was used on a piece of bone or stone that was placed on the core, right, to remove the flakes that would be shaped into walls. So this is how pressure flicking, this here the bone was being kept, and they used to hammer with the hammer stone, and the flakes were being cut out or striked out by the hammer stone, and hence they used to remove the extra flakes, and that is how the tools could be shaped, right? So this is what we learned about the making of stone tools. Next we So students, you can see here I have given a video from YouTube. These are the processes of making the stone tools. The first one is about the making of stone tools with the help of stone and stone technique. There's one more video which you will see after this video, that is pressure flicking technique. So kindly look for the video so that you can understand well.
Literally razors. I would have dragged this across my finger. So when you think of
we have finding out about fire. So in the second map you will find out in your book, if you have, it's in page number 14. So where how the fire was discovered, let us know. Traces of ash have been found here in Kurnool caves. They suggest that people were familiar with the use of fire. So first of all, in Kurnool caves, the ashes were found. With the help of the ashes which were found, the archaeologists have made an assumption that maybe this was the first people who actually used fire. Fire could have been used for many things. So these are the uses of fire: a source of light, to roast meat, and to scare away animals. So basically the uses of fire, or people used fire because to light, to roast meat, and to scare away animals, because animal get scared from the fire. And next we have a changing environment. It means that hunting to actually settling down. What happened around 1200 years ago? So there were major changes in the climate of the world. First of all, this is the first point, with the shift to relatively warm conditions, right? In many areas, this led to the development of grasslands. So this is the first change that took place, that is changes in climate led to the changes or the shift of warm conditions, and this is how it led to the development of grassland. This in turn led to increase in number of deer, antelope, goat, sheep, cattle, then animals that survive on grass. So because of the changing climate, there was a development of grassland, and hence because of the grassland, these animals also survived in the grass. So those who hunted these animals now followed them, learning about their food habits and their breeding season. So basically the hunters, they used to hunt the animals, but what happened, now they followed them. They know what they learned about the food habits of their animal, and all the breeding seasons, like where the more babies were being produced, animal babies. So it is like that this helped people to start thinking about herding and rearing animals, right? So from hunters they become herders. So from hunters they became what? Herders, right? Because before they used to hunt animals, but later on they learned about the food habits of the animals like deer, antelope, goat, sheep, and cattle, and they started rearing and herding animals. Fishing also became important at that time. These were the changes. This was the third change, right? This was the second change, and this is the third change. And this was also time when several grass bearing grasses including wheat, barley, and rice grew. This is a fourth change. Men, women, and children probably collected these grains as food and learned where they grew, right? And they were ripened. This made them this may have led them to think about growing plants. So from hunters they became herders, and from gathering of the food they became what? Farmers. So basically the changes that took place in environment is that the growing and the shifting nature of climate. After that, the growth of grassland. Because of the grassland, the animals also survived, and because of the animals survived, the hunters started rearing animals after knowing their breeding season. And soon after that, fishing also came into existence. And after that, what happened? Grains bearing grasses like wheat, barley and rice grew in different parts of the subcontinent in India. And this is how men and women and children, they probably collected the food grains, and they came to know when the fruit get ripened, when the grasses get ripened, right? And this is how led them to grow more grass or more vegetables or wheat, barley and rice in many areas. And this is how the course of farming started. From hunters and gatherers they became herders and farmers, right? For today, let's wind up our class. So we learned about how stone tools were made with the help of two important technique, that is pressure flaking technique, and the first one is stone and stone technique. We learned about fire, where it first discovered, that is in Kurnool caves, where they got the ashes, I mean the archaeologist, and these are the uses of fire. Then we came to know about the changing environment, how the environment changed, and what was the condition of hunters and gatherers, and how they became farmers and herders, right? So today we learned about all these three concepts. You are going to write, I'm giving you the assignment soon.